Leviticus 21. The priest, we're told, verse 7, shall not marry a woman who is a prostitute. Wait a minute, but according to the law of Moses, prostitutes were to be killed. This is not the first time that within the law of Moses you will find this. God showing a tacit acceptance of the fact that people will sin and that they won't be judged, as he says elsewhere they should be. It's rather like God saying, if you obey my law, there will be no poor in Israel. And yet there's loads of commands in the law of Moses about how you should treat the poor. But the law of Moses said there will not be any poor if you're obedient. Well, the fact there were commands about how to treat the poor show that God recognized ahead of time his people's failure to obey his law. Within the structure of his own law, there is that recognition that you shall not be perfectly obedient. Well, God likewise foresees human weakness and human tendencies, and in the end, he accepts imperfection. And within the structure of the law of Moses, there is this acceptance of imperfection by God. For example, one hand, prostitutes must be killed, must be destroyed. Here, well, yeah, a priest should not marry a woman who is a prostitute. Well, it is an acceptance that there will not be perfection. All the way through God's self-revelation, there is this acceptance that we shall not be perfect and his people will not be perfect. And it is structured into his own law, into his own self-revelation. You see a very comforting, in a sense, thing there. You see that God does accept imperfection. It's like some of the sacrifices, you must offer them with yeast. Well, elsewhere, yeast is a symbol of sin. It's as if God's saying, yep, I know generally sacrifices without yeast, some of them with yeast, please, and just to show that I recognize your weakness. So don't be fazed by the fact that you are imperfect and will go to your grave planks imperfect. God wants you, and he recognizes that. And above all, the provision of his Son was this recognition of human sinfulness coming to its ultimate term.